Queens and Crystal Things,
Hey.
the podcast where we're on some manifest your life.
Yes, ma'am.
Shift your mind.
Might as well.
And raise the consciousness type of shit.
That's what you're here for.
I am Christy.
And I am Mia. And you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends for the next hour or so.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Okay, so the last episode we talked about holding yourself accountable. We got some good feedback from you guys on this episode too, because I think there's a lot that everyone can relate to when it comes to being able to, who gonna check me, boo, on yourself.
Right.
So we're talking about holding yourself accountable spiritually and emotionally and mentally. And honestly, the real thing is looking at your life the way it is today and stop pointing to everyone else as to why your life is the way it is.
Yep.
You are the writer, the director, the creator of your life. So anything that is happening in your life is because you are allowing it to be so.
Yep. And I do
Period.
have to I will admit that there are a couple of you all who listen to the podcast who reached out to us to let us know, like, man, this episode was so good because it made us really take a step back and start looking at ourselves and being accountable, because a lot of people don't want to.
Honestly, everything that we're doing, you guys, when we're talking about this, it's really all a way for every person who is listening to this, including ourselves, to master ourselves.
That's the whole point of this.
So we have to hold ourselves accountable. Yep. So this was it was a good episode. We really appreciate the feedback, you guys. Mm-hmm. So Christy, and this is interesting because our topic is something that we discussed a little bit in that episode. So Christy, which please tell the peoples what we're talking about today.
Hold on, let me take another sip of this wine. It's so good, by the way. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon.
I'm excited.
Ends on an upswing. It's so good. Anyway, excuse me, y'all. So today we are discussing divine timing.
Yes.
Divine timing. Now, I think especially in this spiritual world, like, we still are bringing in the concept of time into this space, when we need to realize that time it's not about timing. And so we're going to talk about that
not in
today.
The way that we see.
Yeah, not in the way that we see.
That we clock hours and time.
Right.
Yes.
But so for some of you who don't know what divine timing is the belief or the understanding that everything occurs exactly when it's supposed to. When it's supposed to, like, I always, even with parties, when people show up, it's like, these are the people who are supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Like, not stressing, oh, well, so-and-so didn't show up. No, the people who are here.
Yes.
This is who was supposed to be here. But also with divine timing, by accepting this idea or this thought, we accept that everything happens in our lives in perfect time.
I would say I can specifically remember times, especially at the beginning of when I was very clear that I was on a journey to self. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure this happened before, but I'm only recalling when I know, okay, you're on a journey back to self. And any healers that I talk to, because, I work with healers myself and readers. And, as you're manifesting something. And they would say, it all comes in divine time. Do you know how fucking frustrating it is to hear?
What does that mean?
What the fuck does that mean? So I want us to get into it because I remember feeling like, okay, I'm going to need you to break that down. What are we talking about?
Like, how long?
Especially when you are intentionally manifesting something. You've been disciplined and you're just like, I'm doing all the things and I'm feeling all the things. What does divine timing mean? Yeah. So
I'm meditating, I'm giving my offering.
Right? I'm like, I'm doing all this. Like, what are you doing?
I'm doing everything.
So I really want us to get into that a little bit. And I think this is an opportunity to, because I think sometimes we see divine timing as almost like a prison sentence, and we don't know when the prison sentence is up.
Right.
And it's not that.
Yeah.
And if we look at it for the beauty that it is, when we start thinking about divine timing in our life, we like, okay, I get it. This actually some dope
So
shit.
I have this analogy in my head. So when I think of divine timing, I think about a flower.
Yes.
Because, you're not just sitting over the flower like, okay, when are you going to bloom? Anytime, anytime. It's almost like we enjoy the process of the flower blooming when it's time because we know that it's perfect. Like, the timing is perfect for it to bloom. So we sit there and we relish in the presence of this flower.
Yes, in the process and appreciate the journey.
Right, like we appreciate.
So you know what? That's interesting because you see my tulip buds right there. So I have to I have these tulip buds right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see that. Okay.
So I have to, anybody who's, you plant your tulips between now and December
Yeah.
And I put them in the earth and I know that they're going to come alive when it's time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not looking outside in January and February like, why aren't my tulips coming up?
Hurry up.
It's not their time.
Isn't
So whatever
amazing?
needs to happen underground and think about that for ourselves. Like we're planting seeds. The seed has to take root. It has to go down before it comes up.
Yep.
That is divine order. That is divine timing. So if we look at our lives like this, we appreciate. I'm glad you brought up that analogy, Chrissy, because we are able to appreciate the beauty in the divine timing of nature.
And think
struggle
about
with it with ourselves.
Like, think about it. Like, we have this sense of faith. The flower's gonna bloom. Like, it's it's like not gonna happen.
I'm not
I
even
planted the
concerned.
seed.
I planted the seed.
Like, and it's just like, okay, so now we just wait. There isn't this pressure of feeling like, okay, so when are you gonna bloom? Are you gonna bloom tomorrow? Are you gonna bloom next week?
I'm not concerned.
You're not concerned. You just know that it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
So that is an analogy that stuck out for me. But one of the things that we need to understand, especially with timing. So we're just talking about timing in general.
Yes. How we view time.
How we view time. Because again, remember, I feel like we say this in every episode, or at least every other episode. We are spiritual beings first, having a human existence. And time is a concept in this 3D world. It's a concept made by humans to create structure and to create organization. But to be honest, time does not exist outside of this realm. It only exists here.
Not in the way that we see it.
Right. Not in the way that we see it.
So, but honestly, let's look at how we do see it.
We look at it as being linear.
Yes.
When really time...
Everything's happening at the same time.
The same time is vertical.
Oh, I love it.
Like the whole, like when I first learned about it, my mind was blown. Like that, the little emoji with the little blow up head. My mind was blown. I'm like, wait, and then she showed me. She was like, no, time is not linear. It doesn't go from like youngest to oldest, from left to right. It is like, if you think about this column, this tube, it's all happening at the same time. It's beautiful. Different dimensions. Oh my goodness. It's like,
so if you think about how we, like even now, I've said this recently, like first of all, when I look at time, the way that we experience it in this realm, it's almost November.
yes.
Yo.
It's
January
so
was
fast.
yesterday.
It is crazy how
So when we have those moments when we say time is going fast or time is going slow, at the end of the day, the way that we measure the concept of time does not change in this realm. But when time is moving, what we would consider faster for us is because we're not clocking time like that. We understand. I feel like once I understood that time is not this linear yesterday, you know what I mean? Like this linear thing, I started to see how the way that I perceive that time is moving is totally based on where I am in my life. So things are moving fast because I'm moving fast. Because I'm manifesting faster because I'm in alignment. But we'll get more into that.
And scientifically, for you people who are nerds like, me, sometimes I like to know about stuff, time has actually gone a little bit faster because the Earth is rotating on its axis faster, which I think has decreased the time by like 0.001 or something crazy. Yeah, so time is moving a little bit faster because the earth is rotating faster, something like that. You guys, you can correct me, but it's something along those lines. But one of the things that I want to discuss is when we are intentionally manifesting something in our life, like, why do we have to wait for it? Like, why? Like, this is what I want.
Woo! Come on.
I'm putting this before you,
baby.
Spirit.
Baby.
I am honoring you. I am in a state of gratitude all the time. So, bam, like, I should just be able to get it, because if I'm God, or if I'm an aspect of you experiencing yourself, and this is something that I want, then why can't I just have it? Like, why do I have to wait for it? What do you say to that?
So, okay. That's why I'm glad we talked about what time is in this round. So, and we hit on this just, I think, in the last episode just a little bit. When I think about divine time, again, using the words that we have available to us.
Yes.
I see it as not hour by hour or minute by minute. I see it as growth and lessons.
Yep,
so even though we are intentionally manifesting things in our life, and we're like, why isn't this coming? It should be here. Sometimes we have to stop and ask, okay, let me think about divine timing. Divine timing is based on when I'm ready and when it's there for me. So maybe what I'm manifesting isn't ready yet. I'm trying to pull a seed out the ground and see a flower when it hasn't sprouted out the ground yet. Divine timing. Maybe sometimes, like, we can be given a gift, and because we haven't gone through the lessons and blessings of growth, of spiritual, emotional growth, you wouldn't even be able to handle that gift. So think about people who have children, who really aren't ready to have children, but they're like, I want a child. I'm gonna make a child happen. I'm gonna do everything I can to have a child. But really, we aren't divinely ready to be a mother or a father, but we want to make it happen. So what do we see what happens when people, and I'm just using this as an excuse because I know this is something that everybody can either point to within themselves or know somebody. What do we see what happens when we make a child happen, but we aren't ready for it?
Oof.
It hurts like hell. So divine timing isn't 1 + 1 hour, a certain time you can't have children. But like, that's not, when you are working in alignment with divine order and divine timing, the time that we think exists for us, that's some bullshit.
Right.
How many people do you know? Hell, even some celebrities that have had children past the time, air quoting, that they're supposed to. Yep. We got women having children starting at 40.
Yep.
Into their 50s, and we're like, oh my goodness, that's a miracle. No, baby, that's divine timing, because sis was ready. Her womb was ready. Her heart was ready. And she allowed divine time to take place as opposed to pushing it.
Yeah. So as we've been talking about this episode, and I've just been thinking a lot about it, when I think about divine timing, I think about planting that seed and knowing and having the faith that it's going to bloom when it blooms. Because when you know when it blooms, you know that's the right time. And then I feel like when we put like, oh, this has to be done by this date, or this has to be done, I feel like that puts a lot of pressure on us, unnecessary pressure, especially if it's something that you are intentionally wanting to manifest into your life. And so as we were like thinking about this episode, I'm like, okay, so divine timing, you don't have that energy of stress and of like, okay, hurry up, when is this going to happen? Whereas if it's forced and you're really following this timeline, it
has to happen by this point.
It has to happen.
That's the stress.
Right.
You're right, Chris. You're 100 and ooh.
And I was thinking like, oh my goodness, like it's so completely different.
Damn. Because when you just said that, it just made me think about personal. You know what I've been going through. Personally, in my life, the only time that I've been stressed about something is because I feel like it's taking too long.
Yeah.
Or it's, when is this going to happen?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking that's the only time. That's the only time.
That's
but when I just let it go, it's like, because I like I know it's gonna happen. Period.
You planted that
It's
seed.
It's a whole different thing.
It's like I'll see you when I see you.
And you know, as we speak, we create. Mm-hmm. And I've been saying this, baby. My seeds will grow on stone. If I put that motherfucking seed down, it's coming. Period. Bam. And so when I start to own that and feel that, that's when I get outside of time here. Mm-hmm. It's like if I put the seed down, I don't care what it's on. Right. It's coming.
Yep.
In divine time.
It's blooming.
It's like it is.
Yep.
And just think about farmers. The food that you eat out of your mouth before we start fucking around with stuff. I'm gonna just shut up and leave that alone. Everything, even if you eat, meat or not, all of that initially was divine timing. Yeah. When is it ready? When is the plant ready? When is the animal ready for sacrifice? When can we? Do you know what I mean? Like
everything.
So when we think about the ways in our life where we have allowed divine timing to take place, like for real, just think about that. Yeah. Like think about you get pregnant. Somebody be like, I don't want to be pregnant for 10 months because it's 40 weeks. Like this is too long. I want to get this over with. You can't rush when divinity.
And think about it. Think about how, like, the way that our culture thinks now, where it's like, well, when would you like to have your baby?
You can literally plan your absolutely.
And now it's no longer. It's like, okay, well, that date's not convenient for me to give birth, so I'm going to meet with my doctor and we're going to induce my baby on this date.
Yep.
Because she also needs to be, this sign, or because I have this vacation or a wedding coming up. It is crazy. But one of the things that I just, going back to something that we said, time is not linear. That whole concept of time being linear, like you have this timeline, this history line, it doesn't exist. Time is up and down. But it's all happening at the same time. All happening at the same time. So just like that whole thought of time being linear, you gotta let that go.
And also, our last episode, we talked about
accountability. Accountability.
When did we talk about? No, we talked about
rejection.
Rejection is redirection.
Oh, that was last. Yeah,
you know what? I messed up at the beginning of this episode, y'all. We talked about rejection is redirection because I said last time we talked about was accountability. Ooh, Mia. Wrong. Okay.
It's okay. I'll drink off of it.
Divine timing. So we talked about how sometimes rejection is protection. Divine timing is also protection too.
Yeah.
So think of it like this. Before you came down here.
Oh, yes.
You sat down, you picked your spiritual team. Just follow along with me, guys. If this is too much, just follow along with me.
Walk with us.
Or just walk with me down the path. Come on. You picked your team. You said, hey, I'm coming down to Earth School because this is what I want to learn and understand about life, about myself, about my God self. This manifestation of God that I chose to be in this earth and time, this is what I came to do. So no matter what time it takes on this earth, in this realm, you have already designed what is. Period. And so to know that know that the divine works outside of the time constructs. Whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. You can't stop that.
All right.
Because you want to know why you can't stop it? Because you created it. This is what you wanted to feel in your life. So when you try to put earth time, 3D time, over divine time, that's when you get stressed out. When you go back to, wait a minute, hold on, I already know what's coming because I can feel in my soul what I have come to experience in this life. The fact that I have not experienced it yet means divine time has not come up yet for that. Yeah. So that means I got some work to do.
And think about it too, like
actually some beautiful shit.
It really is. And think about it too, like the flowers that are blooming, they don't bloom on our time. They bloom on divine timing, which is outside of the 3D construct of time that we've created as humans. So we don't get upset with the flowers when they bloom, during the time that they're supposed to bloom. We have faith knowing that it's going to happen.
And you know what? And we appreciate the divine timing
Exactly.
of it. So think about this, because I'm a big I'm a big nature girl. I swear, I look at I'm just like, nature shows up and shows out.
It really
to me.
does, yes.
So fall, this is a perfect time.
So pretty. Oh my gosh.
So when you think about, like, for real, when you think about how we see trees and the changing colors, what's happening honestly with the trees is the leaves is they're dying. We have so much trust in the divine timing of nature, because for some reason we feel like we're outside of nature. We would drive places for hours to see the dying of leaves and celebrate it, because we know that is in divine timing, and we're like, oh my God, and see the beauty in it.
And realize but we that can't everything is cyclical.
Everything. Thank you.
Because those leaves are going to be green again.
But when it comes to our life, come on, Christy, that's it.
That's it.
That we on the same page. When it comes to our lives, we don't trust the cycles. We don't trust the divine timing. But we will not understanding that me and that tree, we are the same. Baby, this is this, like, why? So when we don't allow ourselves to trust the divine timing in our life, just look at how you trust it outside of yourself. Yeah. Are you kidding me? We can look at the trees, the plants. Like I said, I know these tulips that I'm about to put in the ground in my yard. Guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna bloom.
They will.
When it's fucking time. And when it comes, I'm going to be like, yay!
And you're going to be patient until then.
And I'm not going to worry. And I don't have no concern. I don't have any concern or fear.
I wonder why. Well, how come it hasn't bloomed yet?
That it's not going to bloom.
Are the seeds
Guess what's going to happen?
Are they working? Maybe I got a bad batch. Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. No, it's like, no, I planted
none of
these
that
seeds.
Enters my mind.
I've been
we think about that in our lives.
Yes.
Like, why isn't it coming? I mean, I wrote it down. I manifested it. I meditated on it. I visualized it. Why isn't it coming? You don't ever have that when it comes to nature. Why don't we understand that we are nature too?
Right.
We are a manifestation of God in this body, and we can't believe that our divine timing is just as beautiful as nature. Come on, man.
And think about when we plant a seed, how we treat it. Mm-hmm. We don't just plant it and we leave it. Mm-hmm. When we plant it, we nurture it. Mm-hmm. We nourish it with vitamins and with water, whatever nutrients it needs to be able to grow and to be its best version of itself. We don't just leave it, plant the seed, and then complain when it doesn't grow. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like there is some action behind it, behind the seeds. We make sure that the light is right. Woo! We make sure that the temperature is right. We make sure that the soil is right. And the same thing applies to our life. So we have to carry that faith that we have, like Mia was saying, in nature. We have that same faith in nature. We have to know and carry that same energy in our physical lives.
Absolutely. So when you think about, this brings up the importance of alignment. Yep. So when I think about alignment, I want to know your opinion on this, Christy. When I think about alignment with our divine self, with our God self, with what we created this life to be, when we are in alignment, we're not thinking about time. Mm-hmm. Because there's this sense of, I'm in alignment with what I created. So no matter what is, it's going to be, period. So the importance of being in alignment with your oversoul, with your highest self, with your God self, whatever it is, with the universe, whatever terminology that you use, it doesn't, because the terminology is not.
It really isn't. It doesn't matter.
Important, honestly. It's the feeling and understanding that you are a manifestation of the creator of this. Mm-hmm. And I created this to experience it in this body, in this self, So when I'm in alignment with that divine timing, is natural.
Right. Yep.
So what were you going to say?
So I had to write it down before I forgot because Mia has me over here drinking.
Blame it on Mia.
I know it's easy to do that, but no, I had to write it down because I'm like two or three glasses in, or maybe more. I don't remember how many glasses. Okay, but we talk about the importance of
God's
alignment.
juice is wine. What are you talking
Right.
about?
Thank you. See, let me drink to that right now.
Cheers. Just God's juice.
Ting ting. Okay, that's funny. But no, like think about, when you get these seeds. I'm sorry, you guys. I have this seed and plant thing going today.
It works.
Because for me, I need an analogy that like sticks, and this is sticking. So when you think about it, seeds usually have instructions. You need to make sure that it's going to have a certain amount of sunlight. You need to make sure that it's going to be in a certain type of soil, and you need to make sure that it's going to be in a certain type of temperature. So you can't expect to get some seeds that require Hawaii type temperatures and, plant them in Antarctica and expect it to bloom.
Come on, man.
It's just not going to happen. So that is out of alignment right there. So that's the sample. That's the example that I wanted to use. You're not in alignment. But if you get seeds that are in alignment with your temperature, the type of soil that you have, the type of sunlight you have available coming into your space, then those seeds are in alignment. So you have to plant seeds that are in alignment with the outcome that you want to get. I felt that one right
You
here.
felt that? Did that come together for you? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it can.
I like that, Christy. And that's a perfect way to the seed analogy.
River, is he in a box?
No, he would be in a box though.
That's what I'm like, River.
You're like, where you come from?
Look, I cannot find her cat. Like, I feel like so number one, he's probably traveling somewhere. That's number one.
River's in the portal tonight.
And then number two, like, he may just pop out. Just out
this new moon, we're still in new moon energy. River's doing, he's out there working.
He does. He will disappear and he'll be like, what did I miss?
No, because he would be down here someplace.
I was just traveling. What did I miss?
Christy, I like that because it's alignment. That's a great way to illustrate. You can't plant peony seeds or tulip seeds in the Antarctica where it's always going to be cold. That's not in alignment with that seed. Not. So are you in alignment with what it is that you are trying to manifest in your life? If you're trying to, and I'm gonna take it back to relationships because I feel like everybody talk about relationships.
Everybody.
Are you in alignment with what it is that you are trying to manifest in your life? If you are trying to manifest love and peace, are you love and peace? Or are you anxiety and chaos and confusion? And you got the nerve to think that you planting seeds of chaos and confusion and think love and peace about to come up? Motherfucker, please. That's out of alignment. Sorry.
There's this quote that I heard online. It's inappropriate. It's inappropriate. So if you have any little ears nearby, please remove them. And so this is what the quote is, and hopefully I can remember it because again, Mia has got me over here drinking.
You see how she do me? You are out of alignment. You brought a bottle with you. I just happened to have one open when you got here.
My bad. So the quote, so what the woman said is, make your lover's dick hard and not his life, so he can make your pussy wet and not your eyes. And as yes, it is very graphic, but it's kind of true. Like, keep it easy. Don't make things more difficult.
It's not that difficult,
right? Like, don't make it difficult if it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be. Okay, I'm sorry. So I did go off tangent, but
no, you didn't.
So. Yeah. So also one of the things with time, I mean, honestly, the whole time thing, and I get it because we all get into that space. You guys, I'm very time conscious, very, very time conscious.
She is.
But I'm also learning to just go with the flow. I mean, sometimes I can and sometimes I can't. Look, I'm working on it. But with time, being conscious about time, it will keep us in either the past or the future. Because if we are conscious of time, we're not allowing ourselves to be in the present. And I feel like we've said this in one of our other episodes, but being in the present is where the magic happens. Like that's where the beauty is. That's the sweet spot right there. That's the G spot. Like the present is the G spot.
Because where else you gonna be?
Where else?
I mean, because, and I mean, I'm sure everyone has seen a quote, and I don't remember exactly what a quote is, but the past is gone. Mm-hmm. So when you are connecting and holding on to that, you're not in the present.
No, you're holding on to the past.
And the future has not come yet. So if you are concerned and worried about what's going to come.
And I feel like that's where anxiety comes from.
Ooh, I swear I started off as like anytime the stresses come in, it's like, when is it gonna happen when I get
that's anxiety.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like that's anxiety.
So the best place to be is in present.
Ooh,
is what's happening right now. Because guess what? That's the
again.
only thing you can control. You cannot go back and change what happened in the past. And you are not about to jump forward and change what happened in the future. The only thing that determines what's happening in your life and it's going to happen is what the fuck you are doing right now. So what are you doing right now? Thank you.
With intention.
What are you doing right now to set up so you won't be concerned about what's going on in the future? Because I know what's happening because I planted the damn seeds. So I need to stay here and work right here. Mm-hmm. I think that's, so when we think about divine timing, it's also being present in the moment and allowing the timing to unfold as you have created.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's another thing too. And I feel like you said this earlier today, is just surrendering. It's so hard for us to surrender. I did some work over the weekend and I had to like trace some shit and deal with some of my shit. And I had to surrender into that space and it felt very uncomfortable, but it was necessary. And I think for us, like if we want to have change, if we want to create a different version of ourselves, or we want to create or manifest a different version of our lives, we have to surrender. It requires us to surrender into areas in our lives that we're not really wanting to tap in. We have to surrender to it.
And goes back to holding yourself accountable. Yes.
And then another thing, like as far as divine timing, so when you plant, look, I'm using the plant thing for this episode.
Yeah, I'm going with it.
I'm going with it because it makes sense to me. So when you plant the flower or you plant your seed, you don't just sit in the garden staring at it all day. You don't sit and wait for it.
A watch pot never boils.
Right. Your life moves on.
You got stuff to do. I release that.
You are doing.
I have confidence.
Right. You are doing what it needs. You are doing what that seed requires for it to grow. Mm-hmm. But you're not just sitting there just like staring at it and waiting for it to happen. Life moves on. Okay, you need some water. Okay, let me give you some water. Okay, you need to be moved into the shade. I'm going to move you into the shade. Okay, you need to just, whatever, you need these extra vitamins or nutrients, okay, I'll give these to you. But then you're not just sitting and like standing over it waiting for for it to bloom. Life is happening. So you go out, you're minding your business, and you come back, oh my gosh, I see a growth. And then you go back and you mind your business, oh my gosh, I see like a bud.
Man, it is... I just want to say this because I love the idea of this, Chris. You just made me remember. When you are waiting for, let's call it a miracle to happen in your life, when you're not watching and paying attention, and you have faith in, just like with this seed. I know for a fact when I put these 2 little seeds in the ground, guess what's going to happen in spring?
They're blooming.
They're going to bloom. So we allow ourselves to release the miracle of life to occur in our life when we've set the intention and placed that seed in the ground. Know that whatever seed you planted, if you planted seeds of bullshit, you're going to get bullshit.
Yes, facts.
If you planted seeds of love, you're going to get love. If you planted seeds of peace, that's what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. What are you planting?
But it's really important, like, don't be stagnant. When you're waiting for something or when you are intentionally wanting to, manifesting something in your life, don't just sit idle.
Yeah.
That energy still needs to move. The energy still needs to flow. The energy needs to move towards something. So don't just, that energy, energy always has to move.
So it's okay. So it's like, it's not necessarily sit idle. I see it as like, how do you say this? Like, I just keep going back to a watch pot never boils.
Yep.
So if you are sitting and waiting, like, when it's going to come, it's like you're pushing the timeline back. You're pushing when whatever it is that you have created whatever you have created to manifest, you're pushing it back further because you're not trusting.
Yeah.
You said today. You said, Christy came in. She said today's your 6-year anniversary of when you locked your hair.
Mm-hmm.
So
6 years.
I'm looking at your locks. They're super long. Chrissy's locks are like to her brush stroke. At some point, you had to release. How is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Is it going to grow? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be what it's going to be.
At one point, I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, what did I do to myself? What did I do? And then I just had to trust. Like, you know what? Okay, well, it's going to be what it's going to be. And so I need to let my hair do what it's going to do and trust and know that at some point.
Because this is a seed I planted. When you locked your hair, you planted a seed.
There you go.
And it has continued to bloom because you let the shit alone. And now your locks are luscious, long, down to your boobies. Christy's over here like, they're so long. And you know what I mean? And it's just because you've allowed it to be the divine that it is. Mm-hmm. And I think, so the intention behind it is when you planted it.
Yeah.
And when we say not sitting idle, I look at it as the knowingness and the confidence. I don't have to watch over this. Mm-hmm. I don't have to measure my hair every day. Right. Is it growing? Is it? I don't have to do none of that shit because I trust. Mm-hmm. Period. Because I know that as I speak, I create. What I plant is coming back towards me.
That part.
The karma and the energy, whatever way you want to look at this to make you feel comfortable with your life, what you put, period, well, all I'm saying is, what you put out there will grow. And it's coming back to you. So again, if you planting seeds of bullshit, lies,
that's what you're gonna get.
Chaos and confusion. And I don't care what cover it is that you put on it to make you feel better about what you're doing. It's like, no, I'm only doing this because so did this to me.
It is what it is.
It doesn't matter. That's what you planted. That's what you're getting back. So that's why when people say, be the bigger person, it's difficult. It's like, no, there's somebody did this to me. Like, don't look at it like I have to get revenge on them. Look at it like, hold on. What seeds am I planting to come back into my life? What energy am I putting back out there to come back into my life? And you're like, baby, you're not about to make me act a damn fool because I'm going to act a fool against me. It's not even about somebody else.
At my own cost.
Yeah. Yes!
No. You're not worth that.
You're not worth that. Are you kidding me?
Sorry.
And when I would tell you, that's one of my favorite, I would say, lessons. Is when I finally got the lesson. Wait a minute, hold on. You act a fool and I act a fool because I feel vindicated and of course I should respond in this way because you did it first. When I finally figured out whatever I do comes back to me, it doesn't matter what started it. If I make a decision to respond in kind to the bullshit, then I'm bringing bullshit into my life. Not what you did, because you can't do shit to me unless I accept it.
Exactly.
And the way I accept it is respond with you. So no, I'm on my own divine order. That's your shit. And I'm gonna let you keep your shit. Love you, mean it. Keep yours, but this not mine. From afar. Girl, I'm serious. Yeah.
And then also just know that whatever you put out there with intention, whatever belongs to you is yours. So there's no having to, again, I know that it's hard, especially being in this 3D realm. It's hard. Like, I want this now. When it's going to happen? It feels like it's been forever. I've been waiting on that special person, or I've been waiting on this to happen.
I've been waiting for this money to come in.
Right.
I've been waiting for this job. I'm waiting for my child. I've been waiting for... I mean, there's so many different...
But just know that what belongs to you regardless. And it will come to you. And it may not come at the time that you think is like best, but honestly, I've even had the current relationship that I'm in right now. And I've said this, we've talked about this several times. I don't think, like, if we were together, like, early on, I don't think I would have appreciated him. I wouldn't have the same level of appreciation that I have for him now.
I get what you're saying.
You know, I had to go through some things. I had to grow through some things to really appreciate him. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes, you know, the timing that we may want that, but we may not necessarily be ready for that thing.
So you know what? I think it was the last episode.
It's all getting blurry now.
Right, it is. I think when we start to ask ourselves, when we start thinking about what time something is supposed to happen, and I feel I'm always sensitive about using the word supposed to and should. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. Don't let anybody should on your life. Don't be shitting on my life. Should what? I ain't should shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so when we start to put a timing on something, we have to, I think when we allow ourselves to be truthful and honest and authentic, we can ask ourselves, wait a minute, hold on. According to whom? If I think this is supposed to be done by this time, let me stop and ask myself, where'd that come from? That's something that I heard outside of myself, and I'm trying to acquiesce to what society says,
right,
when and where and how something is supposed to happen. Okay, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? So if you're being honest with yourself, you'll be able to answer the question, like, what am I rushing for? Mm-hmm. And I do think that if I'm building something to last forever, and when I say forever, I mean in this time and this place, timing doesn't matter. I can be patient for something I'm building forever. Are you kidding me? Yeah. It's like you're building a home. A foundation.
Yeah, you want that structure to be...
Like, I can't break ground. Right. I can't break ground in February. Even though I want my house done by a certain time. But I know
it'll be hard.
You can't, it's just, you can't pour concrete in different temperatures. There's timing to this. But there are people who say, I don't care what you say. Yes, I don't care what you say. I'm doing it now. Okay, baby. In 10 years, when your foundation starts sinking, you're trying to understand why. It's because you refused
being out of alignment.
Bing, bang, boom. You just said it. That's it.
So there's something to just understanding and sitting back and surrendering. Surrendering to divine timing and knowing that everything happens when it's good and it's right and it's perfect.
And you know what, Kirsty, it's there's also something beautiful to surrendering, because I don't want to make it seem like, surrendering is like, oh my God, just accept. There is something beautiful, because what it allows you to do, if you allow yourself to see it and feel it, it allows you to see what's beautiful in this moment. So how many of us have had moments in our life where we say, oh my goodness, I can't wait for this to manifest and I'm going to be so good. My life is going to be amazing. Yeah. Or if I lose a couple of pounds, I'm going to be fine. Like, no, but you fine now.
Meow.
Right now. Meow. Meow. Whatever. Right, that part. So wherever you are financially, seeing the beauty in the growth process, because there is something when you get to a point in your life and you say, man, some people even grieve the growth process because there's work in there. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And so when you have manifested and created something that you've created, sometimes we'll look back and be like, I remember when I didn't have this and I was still happy. Like, man, I remember dreaming about this. I remember manifesting this, and here I am in it. And oftentimes we don't even take the opportunity to acknowledge.
Yeah, I know I don't. Not all the time.
You know what I mean? Like, acknowledge that how divine timing has worked. And I guarantee you, everybody who has listening to this can look at times in their life and be like, oh, where they have said, I get it. I know why that didn't happen then. Because if that had happened when I was pushing and begging and crying for it to happen, it would have never worked.
It would have been a hot
And
mess.
like, look at this. When I released it and just trust in what it is that I created, and trust that the universe has always got my back.
Things just happen. And it's always in your favor.
And thank you. Like the gratefulness, like, I can't believe, had I pushed that relationship that I thought I wanted,
Dodged a bullet.
baby, dodged a bullet. Like, for real, when we don't listen to ourselves and trust ourselves and trust the synchronicities, and look, sometimes when people aren't meant for you, jobs are not meant for you, friendships, like, relationships, any of that, people, it's almost like the situation will continually F you over. Like, how many times do I have to hit you upside your damn head to show you that this is not for you?
Look,
And
I
people will just keep going like, no,
I only
just
want
gotta
this
work
lesson
harder.
once.
Right.
Just, look, I don't want to have to
tell you
repeat
something.
this lesson again. So
I'm in the age bracket of, you only got to tell me one time.
tell me. You don't even need to show me. Just tell me.
Right. One time.
Just give me the
trust
abbreviated-
divine timing now. Like, oh, okay, no problem.
You can just give me the cliff notes.
I'm not forcing a
No.
thing. You
No.
feel me?
And we talked about this earlier too, and you actually just kind of alluded to it or said it, that when you allow divine timing to take place in your life, things just flow, and it takes the pressure away. There's no pressure.
Because I know what I know.
Like, there's no
What's
question.
for me is for me.
It's for you.
Period.
Like that
so if
flower.
something is blocked, it's no longer like, oh my God, I can't. It's like, oh, it wasn't my time.
Yeah.
That wasn't for me. And then I damn near get excited now because I thought that was juicy. So if I'm showing myself like that's not for you, I'm like, ooh.
I must got some.
I must got some real juicy coming. Okay, let's do this. Meow.
And I do have to admit, you kind of got me thinking that way before. Because before I'm like, oh, I don't know. But now I'm like, okay, I'm excited. All right,
like,
that
okay.
door closed. Now the next one is
was
it's about to be platinum plated.
I had no idea. But if we force what we believe is right there, like, no, I want this, and then we go back and be like, damn, had I shut my motherfucking mouth and just let divine
appreciated the
time,
process.
man.
And there's also something to that too. Like, I feel like when you're not following divine timing, you are microwaving. You know, like you are trying to put something, like, hurry it up.
Can we talk about this microwave society?
That's the thing. Like, that's our culture now. And now I feel like we have lost that appreciation for things. Like, remember, like, okay, so now there's this. This is a really good analogy. I'm getting all these analogies, you guys. The air fryer.
Yes.
Now, before, you can put something in the oven maybe for 45 minutes, for an hour to cook. You prepare your time, you prepare around that time. But now in the air fryer, you can put it in there for like 20 minutes and then it's done. Or the Instapot. What is it? 2 minutes or 3 minutes for some rice? Or, now it's like, it's quick. So now that appreciation of the juices marinating and sitting and cooking into that thing,
so
it changes things up.
It's almost like a ritual. And I mean, look, I'm okay with the conveniences in life, but I think what we're trying to explain is when we start to believe that everything in our life is supposed to be air fryered, or microwaved. So if we use this analogy that you're using, when you think about, okay, Soul Food Sunday. You think about the mamas, the aunties, the women in the kitchen. I'm not trying to be sexist here, but feel me. preparing the meal. It's not just the meal. That's not the end game. You know what I mean? There is the meal is just a piece of
it's the connection, it's the conversation, it's the
on.
laughs, it's the
come on. I'm in the kitchen with my family. We're giggling, the smells. We're teaching each other. We're learning about each other and ourselves. There's something in the process. It's ritualistic. So when you think about Thanksgiving dinner or something, like perfect example, when we go out to my sister's house in San Diego for Thanksgiving, and so all of us, we're in the kitchen cooking. Everybody takes care of, you're going to do the dressing, you're going to do this, you're going to, and so, but we're all together. That's part of the experience. It's not just the meal.
But guess what? It is that experience that makes the meal even better.
Yes. Yes, I know how to order food. I can get it catered, of course.
But
and there's
something
to living in the divinity of the moment. It's not just Thanksgiving, and I'm just using it because we're going to be close on Thanksgiving. It's not just the meal.
Yeah.
It is the process of creating the meal. I've always said this. For me, I really enjoy cooking, but because I like eating. But to me, it's a way that I show love to my friends.
Yeah.
It's a way that I show love to my family. I put time and effort into this. And I'm not expecting you to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's just, it's a ritual for me. And I get to be in my moment and like here and like, and as I'm when I say everything you do with this intention, think about as you're cooking a meal, you're tasting it, you're thinking about, ooh, this is delicious. And I'm doing something, I'm serving. Everything that we do when we put time, preparation, and allow it to happen, it's also a service that we're providing to the collective.
That's why they say don't eat food from a person who is angry.
Man, let me tell you something.
Because
if you got an attitude, I don't want to eat your food. I'm good, baby.
In it.
I don't want that. I want
my grandmama.
Yes, I want the music playing. I mean, I'll put my music on. I'm in here singing and dancing. Tasting, drinking wine, having a good old time, because the preparation is the love.
Yeah, and that's what people.
By the time I sit down, by the time we sit down and eat dinner, I've already filled myself up so much with the love that I've put into this. It don't even matter which. So by the time you like, oh my goodness, this is good. How'd you do this? It's like, oh, more love. But I've already loved on myself in the process. So when you think about what you're cooking up for your life, if we are looking, pun intended, if we are microwaving everything in our life, if we are not using, if I'm not cutting, just keep it up. If I'm not cutting the carrots and the celery and the onions, and you know what I mean. And I'm just like, well, I just drop the onion in there. It'll just dissolve in the water. You know what I mean? Like there's something different to that. But the intention and the trust and the divine timing and the divine process and the divine order, it's something to it. And we see it every day. It's something. It's like, it's like, you want this dry chicken or you want this juicy chicken? What you want? What you want? You want this good. Think about it. Marinating food. It tastes different when it's been marinated over time and there's a process that's followed. And every time we try to find a way to shortcut things, that's just, we try to shortcut everything.
Everything. Everything is a shortcut.
Because for what though?
Everything is a shortcut.
So
it drives me insane.
When we try to shortcut our lives, you guys, like I said, I'm not over here. I do appreciate being able to do some things quicker in my life, but when it comes to my life, I have learned, because this has not always been, I have come to the understanding that for the things that I consider to matter most, and I'm at the point in my life where it all matters. All this shit matter. Every last piece of it. I'm going to take my motherfucking time. I don't want to microwave nothing. It's
I'm the
worth
same.
the, you know what I mean? Like, you don't even have a
It's the
microwave, right?
Well,
Yes.
now I do have a microwave, but it's the journey. It's no longer just like the outcome. It's
Yes.
like getting up to that.
The
It's
journey
all a part
is,
of it.
you know, when someone says to you, they eat, and I'm just using a food example, they just feel like, oh my goodness, what did you put in this? For me to be able to say, oh, I put a little almond oil in there in the batter when I made it, so you know what I mean? Because there's a process in that, there's a thinking into that. And but if somebody says, oh my goodness, this is good, what'd you put in this? Oh, I bought that. And again, no shade. I'm just trying to, you know what I mean? Like, we're just using an analogy to illustrate how divine timing, divine order is so damn beautiful.
It really is.
Don't play your life like this. Don't go buy all your pies, y'all. Don't go buy all your food. Everything doesn't have to be catered. Don't cater your life, because what you're doing then is you are releasing the power of what your life will look like to something outside of you. And then when you get mad and you buy something, like, oh, this is nasty, I could have done better. Then why the fuck didn't you?
Okay, so I have an analogy.
Then why didn't you?
All right, this is my last flower analogy, and I promise you I'm done. But think about when you are actually growing a flower versus going out and buying flowers. Mm-hmm. You know, like, there's a difference. It's almost like you want this immediate satisfaction of having this beautiful vase of flowers on your table. Then they die. So it's like you almost don't really get a chance to appreciate them. Or there really is no appreciation, because this is just a temporary fix. But then when you grow something and you see the beauty and you're like, man, I actually nurtured that. I helped that grow.
It's something to
It's something so different.
It is. There's an ownership there.
There is. And there's an accountability for it too. Because if the flower doesn't bloom or something happens, it's like, yeah, I wasn't really taking care of it, or I wasn't watering it like I should have. That was my bad. Like, that was on me.
So how many? Okay. So how many of you guys? Real talk.
Real talk.
How many of you guys are upset about flowers that have not bloomed in your life that you haven't watered? You cannot be mad about the results you didn't get for the work that you did not do.
Ouch, that hurt.
I know. You can't be mad about you don't have a 6-pack abs if you're not doing a 6-pack ab workout.
Or if you're
period
drinking wine that Mia keeps giving you. Look, or you keep
choices and decisions,
or you keep blaming it on someone else, not taking accountability.
But I mean, how many of us are upset about not getting the results of
That's real.
the work that we didn't put into it?
That's real. A lot of us.
Yes. Shoot.
I know I've been upset about a couple things. I'm like,
a couple? Girl, please. That was cute. Look, I'm like, if anybody's interested, I got a list. But when we're honest with ourselves, what have we allowed ourselves to be truthful and honest, holding ourselves accountable, and being truthful with the divine order and timing of things? And when I think about, because almost every client I talk to right now is all about, where is my love? Where is my partner? Where is... And so I often ask people, so what do you want from a partner? You know, I want attention. I want to be taken out. Whatever their reasons are, right?
Sure.
Okay. So energy matches energy. Do you do any of this shit for yourself? Any of it? Do you put you first? Are you a priority? Do you check in on yourself first? Do you surprise yourself with gifts? Do you treat yourself? Do you take yourself out? Do you do any of this stuff? Any of this thing that you're wanting somebody to come out the clear blue sky and provide for you, but you don't even do it for your damn self? Good luck, boo.
And you know,
because you're setting yourself up for it.
It
is. Because what you're setting yourself up for is to accept anything even close to. So somebody call you, take you out. One time you're like, this is it. It's like, baby, when you are doing this for yourself, you know bullshit when it comes at the door. Like, this is not in divine order. This don't even match.
You're not even matching what I'm giving my own self.
Bing, bang, boom. But when we don't provide that for ourselves, so, everyone's asking, where is the love of my life? Baby, look in the mirror.
Bam.
We didn't said this before. Everything outside of you is a side boo. Boo you up first. Wife yourself up. Husband yourself up.
Yeah.
And then everything that comes to match that. But when you out here thinking that somebody's going to come save you, ooh, girl, good luck, baby.
It just doesn't work that way.
It works. And this is the interesting thing. Because we'll see, what do you call it? Social media will have us jacked up because we look at other people's lives and be like, man, they did it like that and it worked for them. You don't know what kind of hell these people are living in.
You have no idea.
And I'm telling you, like for real, some of these people who you look at and think they have it all together are the people that I'm talking to, helping them see the divine order in their lives and how to control their own lives and not live for what other people think about them, you guys. It's like understanding that you have full control over your life is something, it's beautiful. Yeah. It's real talk. Like, that's just some beautiful stuff. Mm-hmm. So take control over your stuff. Take control over your life. Whatever you want or are manifesting in your life, especially if you are demanding, asking for it from another person, ask yourself, am I doing this for myself? When you're asking, I want somebody who's faithful, who's not messing around, who's not lying. Are you a liar? Are you still fucking around?
Have you been cheating on yourself?
Baby!
Have you been lying to yourself?
Come on! How the hell you out here being, a good Sunday hoe, and then, man, on Monday, Tuesday,
bad Sunday hoe.
Right, thank you. Oh, all right. On Monday through Saturday, that you're getting the type of energy that you're getting, it's like, baby, that's the seed you planted. And here's the fun part. When you say, okay, I get it. Hold on. I'm playing myself. I'm attracting this. So let me stop. Let me
take a pause.
Recalibrate my life. Mm-hmm. And then what happens is we say, okay, I recalibrated. I get it now. It's been 2 weeks. What the hell?
It's been forever.
Like, what the hell? I get it now. And so then we start getting frustrated when someone say, hey, that's divine time and take your time. Yeah. Because we're still with the mindset that there's a timing to this. But when we go into the mindset, there's not necessarily a time. It's me loving on me, me trusting what I've created, me knowing that everything happens for the good of me and my life. You're not worried about time. You're like, oh my goodness, I get to enjoy this journey. This is so fun because I know the end. And that's literally exactly how I feel. I'm like, it's so freeing. Just like, I know what's coming. I don't need to know how. Mm-hmm. I know what I've manifested in certain areas of my life. And I can see even today, because we don't do this sometimes, that I'm sitting in my manifestation. Mm. I created this, and then I'm creating the next thing. So what is the fear of allowing divine timing to happen? I got proof points that it works, and it all comes together perfectly. I can't think of how many times I said to myself, like, "Ooh, I dodged a bullet." Woo!
Yeah.
Oh.
So okay.
What
would be your takeaway for today's episode?
I mean, I hate feeling like a broken record, but I would say trust that everything that is for your greatest and highest good is coming into fruition. Trust that the seeds that you have planted, and again, this also means the bullshit seeds you have planted will grow.
Ouch!
It's true. Trust that.
Yep.
But there's a lesson and a blessing in it, you guys. Like,
it really is.
I'm not repeating any more lessons. I'm not hard.
Yeah,
like,
I'm done.
Her not hard in the head no more.
I'm not on the short bus anymore. I'm done. I've graduated.
What's your takeaway?
So my takeaway is to surrender to faith. And I know that's hard. Because again, when we plant that seed and we know that that flower is going to bloom, there's just this faith that we have. So as it relates to your life, surrender into that faith for you. And know that you too, at some point in time, when it is your time, when it's divine time, you're going to bloom. So that's my takeaway.
Got it.
All right. So what is the temple work for today?
So, it's new moon energy, you guys, because I think the new moon was yesterday and we had an eclipse. So I didn't do any, I keep hearing the eclipse energy is, is rough for a lot of people. So here's your takeaway. Here's your temple work. I want you to think about whatever it is that there's something right now that you guys are thinking about. I'm tired of waiting for it to show up. I'm thinking positive. I'm trying to feel good. And I just need it to arrive. Like, I've been doing this. So, sometimes we haven't learned the spiritual lessons that will allow us to not only fully enjoy what we desire, but be able to handle it. So, you know how they say that God will only give you what you can handle? So think of it like that. So I want you to think about what is the thing that right now you're thinking about. Like, look, man, I've been a good person. I've been a good soldier. I've been disciplined. And I want you to get in your journals. Open those journals back up, you guys. I just want you to write down, I surrender. Right, whatever it is that you are waiting for to come into fruition, that you were like, I've been doing the good work, write that down. And then underneath that, just write, I surrender. So when you start to feel angst or anxiety about whatever that is, go back to that page in your journal and be like, I surrender. Because guess what? You know it's coming. Go ahead. Oh. So you know it's coming. And just surrender to it. And sometimes we need, and for some of you guys, I would say, put a Post-it note on your mirror. Just put, I surrender. Surrender to what you have created. And understand that any seed that you plant will grow. Trust that and surrender to it. So I think that's some easy homework. Just, I surrender. Surrender to it, you guys. So that's our temple work. What's our crystal of the day?
Okay. Crystal for the week is fire agate. Element is fire. It's good for the root, sacral, and solar plexus chakras. So fire agate, this particular crystal assists one in making decisive action in unclear circumstances. And so as many of us are in that waiting, that in-between time, this is a really good crystal to work with, and it allows one to manifest divine guidance through action and can help in all aspects of manifestation work. So this is a really good crystal for what we're talking about today. And it can also help you move through blocks and open up channels to allow divine inspiration to flow through you. So have you worked with this crystal before?
No, but I have seen it before.
Okay.
I haven't. It's pretty.
Yeah, I haven't worked with it. I don't remember what kind. I think it's a Phantom quartz, but I don't have a fire agate. But yeah, I think this is a really great crystal to go with today's episode. And so that is the end of today's discussion.
How long have we been talking?
An hour and 9 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, it's gone by very fast.
That crystal that you have on your necklace, that it kind of looks like fire agate, but it's not. That one right there? Yeah. Doesn't it a little bit like a little itty bitty bit, because you see those little fire pieces in there? Mm-hmm. Well, that's what it looks like from over here.
Yeah, this looks like if Amber and Carnelian had a baby.
Ooh, perfect. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all got to see this necklace that Krista got. It has the dopest pieces of malachite I have seen in a while. Some onyx. What's that? Calcite?
I don't know what it is. I just got these crystals. You guys, I was trying not to buy this necklace from J. Crew. This was about 10 years ago. I don't remember when. But the necklace was like $90. And I said, you know what? I can make that. And so I found this place up north, and I went and got the beads and the stones for the necklace, and I ended up spending over what I would have paid if I bought.
First of all, those are not beads and necklaces. Those are pieces. Okay,
yeah,
y'all. This necklace that Christy got on is a banger. She needs to watch her back walking up out of here.
It's heavy though. Like I feel like
it's
Mr.
beautiful.
T. Mr. T, but make it crystals. That's
Mr.
how I.
T.
That's how I feel.
I'm kicking her out.
No,
that's a good one. But it's really beautiful though.
Thank you. Well, as I am thanking Mia, I am thanking you all. Oh, and then hold on. We had someone who supported us. First, I want to do a quick shout out.
Shout it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. I don't know if we gave you a shout out last week for buying us coffee. Thank you, Amanda, for buying us coffee. We really appreciate it. Again,
really we do.
The Buy Me Coffee platform is something that we're using for those of you that listen to the podcast who want to support the show, who want to buy us coffee, quote unquote, or buy us wine.
Is that citrus? Oh, sorry. Keep going, Kristen.
So just wanted to thank you, Jill and Amanda. We really appreciate you.
Thank
and again, the Buy Me Coffee, we are going to try to upload behind the scenes or videos that we were taking during the show or things like that. So
wait, really one quick update.
Oh yeah, we
are so the event that we were having on the 5th, we are doing the next week. It's my fault.
It's no one's fault.
No, it is. It's my fault. We're looking at my date, the 13th. No, yeah. I thought you said the 14th.
Is it the 3rd? It's that Sunday. What's the Sunday?
You sent me the date.
It's the 13th.
Okay, the 13th.
Yeah, Sunday the 13th.
So Sunday the 13th, you guys, we are going to record a live episode in Chicago. We're going to post the details. Mm-hmm. We'll do live Q&A, and then we're also going to do a nice little healing or sound therapy meditation. So we're excited about that. So the date has changed. It is November 13th. We'll post about it. So you guys come join us. Come have some fun with us. We're going to have us a good old time.
Yes, we're going to have fun.
And bring all the questions. Bring the questions, you guys. We want to get into it. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm excited about that. Especially excited to see a lot of you in person because I know that you all have been sending us messages. We've been able to chat with you all. Some of you all have been our clients, and this is an opportunity for those who are local to Chicago to actually talk with us, chat with us, and ask us questions live, and you'll get a chance to see just how we flow with the podcast. So we would love to see everyone that's here and nearby.
Come check us out.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Thank you.
Y'all know what it is.
Yes. Do not forget to you guys, all the people that download this podcast. I need you to go to Instagram.
Come on, y'all.
Follow us on Two Queens Crystal Things.
Yes, ma'am.
Follow our page.
Yes,
there is
please.
no reason why all these people listening to us are not following us. We want to engage with you.
And plus, you can give us. I'm serious. The people who engage with us, they engage with us.
Yes.
Babies, they're like, hey, we want to hear about this. Like, tell us this. Like we appreciate it so much because we want to provide and have discussions that are helpful. Yeah. Like what you want to hear. So I'm not just talking to myself. I hope not.
Nope. But yeah, follow our page, engage with us, send us a message, tell us your favorite episode, tell us something that you've learned, tell us something that we've shared that has helped you. Share with us. We really want to connect with you all, and this is one of the reasons why we're having this live recording next month. So thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
Light,
peace, love, and soul.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.